It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and the wait is over for this rivalry game. It's the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's coming up next.
Well, we knew snow was a possibility for this game, and the weather was happy to oblige with a nice layer of white over Pittsburgh's Acrisure Stadium, and we got more snow on the way. Welcome again, one and all. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Brandon Gaudin on hand alongside Charles Davis. And yes, the storyline here, the weather. Snow and more of it expected as this game continues. So how will that impact how this one goes?
Can these teams ignore the distraction and the strangeness of playing in a snow game? Because it actually affects the crowd as well. That big roar you get is often muffled when there's a snow game. And the second part, what's the footwear you got on? Does that fit the turf you're playing on? And how will it handle as things get a little bit slick?
A kicker, Chris Boswell, has it ready to go, and we are underway from Pittsburgh. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They'll be led out by the former Colorado Buffalo, their rookie quarterback.
For every rookie prospect, there are always nerves involved in this moment. Running your team out to start a game. But there's a reason they brought him in. We're willing to make him their starter today. They believe he can overcome those nerves and lead his team to a victory. We saw him do it at the collegiate level and really make himself into a leader and someone you can envision doing the exact same thing here in the NFL. I'll give him credit there. Nice job on the drag route. Bring the receiver across the field, hoping he can catch it in stride and turn it up. He was able to do just that, although he's just a little bit short of the first down.
Off play action. Sanders. Right back to Judy, and it's complete. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. This will wind up a loss on the play, and that'll leave him with a third and just a yard. Well, it looked like the defense, they were ready for that one.
Really left him almost no room to work after catching the ball. He could throw every move in the book at him. They were there, and they tackle him for a loss.
Now a first carry here for their running back. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. Third and short, so didn't need much, but got a little extra on the backside. Nice run.
Chewed up the yardage, didn't he? To me, that was offensive line with leverage, good blocking angles, taking on a stacked defensive front. And once they chopped that little hole in the beginning, he took it and rambled.
And just the third play from scrimmage, wanted to avoid the 3 and out and did just that. And they'll bring Judy in motion right. Now a fake on the jet sweep, and they'll instead run up the middle. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
Sometimes I think cornerbacks can benefit from the fact that quarterbacks might just forget about the idea that they might be near the line of scrimmage. How about the anticipation there, sneaking in and making a big play in the backfield?
That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards. I'll give the rookie another one on this opening drive and a first down with it. A nice start, Charles, for the first-year passer. He's come out, made a few plays, nice plays to begin this contest.
He certainly has, and if he finishes off this drive with a touchdown pass, I vote we don't call him rookie anymore. We'll move him right to veteran and continue from there.
And making the play defensively there, Brandon Eccles.
I think that's the type of run we'll continue to see throughout this game. The snow coming down, I don't expect a lot of big plays to be broken.
Ball on the 39. Here's second down at 7. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's third down.
Sometimes you get all those big guys down there in one spot and there's just nowhere to go. And in this case, the defensive tackle used his strength and swallowed him up.
Now Sanders from the gun on third down. And that will will be incomplete.
It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on third down to bring up fourth. On fourth down, Corey Bojorquez gets set to punt for Cleveland. Deep to return is Calvin Austin. And it's out of bounds. Now we'll see what the side judge says. He says out at the 8-yard line. So here are the Steelers backed up to start their initial drive. They'll be led out by the former Cal Bear, Aaron Rodgers.
So this is where we find out about the game plan and the trust factor, don't we? In this situation, the natural thing is take care of the ball. Run it inside. Everyone cover it. Just, get yourself some room and let your punter punt it out of there. But when you really got a QB you can trust, you might want to take a little shot early and try and create some space.
On first down, Warren. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. But now he appears to be in some pain. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Now Rodgers. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up third. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Yeah, and that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Under pressure, they got him again. And the defense coming through on third down, a loss of 7 to bring up fourth. They'll make that a second sack here on their first drive out defensively, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but they're on pace for double-digit sacks at this point.
Well, they're going to have to find a way to tamp that down, aren't they? So if you're the play caller, you're telling your quarterback maybe some screens, maybe some draws, hard count, use your voice inflection a little bit, anything to try and slow that pressure down.
On fourth down, out is the punter, Cameron Johnston, to boot it away. DeAndre Carter back deep. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. For the Browns, good starting field position as they have it 1st and 10 at their own 43. Throwing to start the drive. Sanders. And the catch made by Johnson. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Open man, he completes it to Judy. So give him 2 yards there on the completion, and that'll make it 2nd down. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
Into the hands of Cedric Tillman. And they're going to have themselves another first down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 31-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. From the gun, they'll try to run it. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They've created a nice sustained drive off of plays like that. A nice strong run there that keeps them advancing the ball.
Now 2nd and 5. Off the play fake. Sanders. And that is taken in by Njoku. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. First time that they've called his number tonight, and it gets him a first down.
But give them credit for a good read right there, because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Browns put the Knights' first points on the board as they take the early lead. There was a lot of zip on that pass, and baseball might have called that a frozen rope.
I like it when you bring the diamond into the game. I'm going back to the gridiron. Had some heat on that bad boy. Sometimes you throw a touchdown pass, and sometimes
you throw, what, a touchdown strike?
There you go. That's my man, in concert.
Extra point through the snowflakes, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it's capped off by the Browns' touchdown. Following the touchdown, Dustin Hopkins will kick it away. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. So Pittsburgh retakes the field for their second offensive possession. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now Rodgers. And his throw is incomplete. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Throwing now is Rodgers. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Steelers first down, and he's going to have it by plenty. Able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 2.
And already down 7-0 after the touchdown a minute ago, so a 3-and-out here would not be ideal for them. Nice job finding his receiver there, and they get the first down.
Rodgers going to throw. Here's Freiermuth again. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 more for him on that one. He's been a busy man. It's a first down.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
A short one there to Freiermuth. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Second down and a little more than a yard here. Right side complete. That's Woods. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards there and a first down. Up the middle they go. It's Warren. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. And he's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we've got a guy who's quick and fast, and he used it to great advantage.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else. Ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
2nd and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
I think we got to give it up for him right there. That's a heck of an athletic move for a big man right in the middle of the line. How about the play he makes there? Nowhere to run, and he finishes that one off for a loss.
Throwing is Rodgers. Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. In for the sack, Myles Garrett. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter action from Pittsburgh. It is the Steelers in control of the football as they've got it with a 4th down coming up. Boswell's kick is good, and they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Their quarterback in this offense heading back out to the field. He threw a touchdown pass last time they had it. And he'll look to get him in the end zone again here as they start with the 1st down. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. He can rack up those tackles in bunches in the run game from that middle linebacker spot.
And what he has to do is make sure he congratulates the guys in front and tells them thanks a lot, because as the guy in the middle, the Mike linebacker, you're counting on your front 3, your front 4, your front 5, whatever you've got in front of you to take up all the blocking, allow you to roam and hit, and that's what he did on that play.
9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
They went to their big body tight end on 2nd down in hopes that he could plow his way to a 1st down, but they were ready for him defensively and ended up holding him to a modest gain.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the 1st. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. Play clock hit 0. Don't know what went wrong there, Charles, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Has to be some organization from the sideline. Sometimes when you're trying to decide on what play to send in, the play caller has to move a little bit faster.
And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We knew both of these safeties were good in run support, but how about the play we just saw there? How about that closing speed? Able to get to the outside part of the field and turn that play into a loss.
2nd and long. Open man, that's Tillman. And he's able to break out of 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 yards on the pickup there. And it's going to be 3rd down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
Boy, that ball's just hanging up there waiting to be intercepted. That looked doomed from the start. But they took the deep shot anyway, and fortunately, it winds up incomplete.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. It'll be a net of 39, 41-yard punt, 2 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the Steelers getting set and ready for their next possession. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Rodgers to throw. And he'll slide to a halt here, still a little shy of the 1st down marker. And give him 10 that time as he was able to get away from the pressure and get a nice gain. I thought they were going to sack him there like they did on 1st down. Great coverage, but he found a way to move with his legs.
Yeah, his ability to take off. Not only did he get some yardage back, he got a little bit extra. Really helps him on 3rd down. Makes it manageable now.
Now it's Rodgers. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will have a Steelers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Warren, and he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
2nd down and 8. They'll keep it on the ground. Warren. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6. 2 yards on the 1st down carry and then followed up by 2 yards on the 2nd down carry.
Well, that's definitely not going to be enough to get the job done. Wasn't the expression 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Now they're going to need 6 on 3rd down to keep the drive going. To throw, it's Rodgers. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Now on 4th down, it's Cameron Johnston on to punt it away. And he was looking for the checkup bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
Sanders now from the gun on third down. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete. On fourth down, on is Corey Bajorquez to punt. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. Now it's 2nd and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Warren, and he'll get a couple up to the 29.
And that's why you see a lot of teams that like to play 4-3 defense, especially against teams that run the ball really well, because you count on your defensive front, the tackles and the ends, to eat up the blocking in the offensive line and keep that guy in the middle clean so he can roam to the football and make a tackle. In this case, he introduced himself and said, "Hello, my name is Mike."
And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Partner, that's another short run there, and I think the easy thing is to look at them right now and say, let's get away from them entirely. Let's start throwing the football, but I don't think you ever entirely abandon the run. It helps set a tone for the game for you, keeps your offensive linemen feeling good about themselves, and it actually tamps down a defense's pressure because if you just throw it all the time, it's going to tee off with the pass rush.
Fair catch called. It's taken in right at the 20-yard line. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
2nd down and 4. Hands it off out of the gun. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Back to throw. Sanders. Oh, he dropped it. They were looking for him in the middle third. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards before he secured it.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14. Operating from the gun, Sanders to the sideline and incomplete. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. It's a 45-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Nice job there of utilizing his big target, and he didn't overthink it. Understands the catch radius, understands that he knows how to use his body to keep defenders away from the ball, and puts it right out there for the nice pickup.
Rodgers now to throw. He's got his tight end Freiermuth right side. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that's going to bring up second down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
From the 41, here's a second down and 4. Here's Rodgers. Toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Open man, that's the tight end Freiermuth. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in this first half. 7-3 our score. Here now, 2nd and 4. Rodgers to throw once more. A short one there to Freiermuth. Just a gain of a couple there. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
Well, that was an okay hook up there with his tight end, but unfortunately, they didn't get the kind of yards they had hoped for. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And they're going to have another first down as he's going to be tackled at the Browns 16. The 3rd down conversion successful. A gain of 11.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Caught by Woods. And the Steelers are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line. It's a 5-receiver set. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. Rodgers again now. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. CD, when he went to throw that, I'm not sure if he just didn't see where the defense was. Whatever the case, not the throw you're looking for on 1st and goal.
Not at all, because, look, let's face it, that close to the goal line, if you throw an interception, is going to hurt on any down. But really, the only down you can kind of live with is if you do it on 4th down. The first 3, if you don't have it wide open, just get rid of it. Make sure they can't get it and live to fight another down. 1st and goal, and you throw the pick, not good at all.
Here's Sanders throwing to start the drive. Here's Johnson with a reception. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Looking to throw. Sanders. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. Now the Browns signal for the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. Here's 2nd and 10. Operating from the gun, Sanders. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
One of the great coaches said football is really a simple game. Rush theirs, protect yours. And he's talking about those guys throwing the football. In this situation, the rush one, hitting the quarterback and forcing him into an incompletion.
So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. They'll look to throw again. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A good position to be in here, 2nd and inches. Boston, the man in motion left. Here's a fake on the jet sweep, and instead a give up the middle. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Rodgers. He's got his man. That's Woods on the out route. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. A final shot before half for Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be brought down with a penalty flag on the field. It was a late decision to throw, and it might have been too late. Of course, they had the option, and they choose to not take the penalty.
They like the results of the play that they just ran, and they elect to let them stand.
So we've reached intermission here in a low-scoring game. 7-3 is our score. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. This snow front that has socked much of the East Coast not going away as we are back to it in the second half. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. It's been a tight game to this point. What do they need to do, Charles, to break through in the second half and take the lead?
Well, I think the first thing they need to do is thank their defense for keeping them in this game. And, you know, I think the defense is saying back to them, why don't you guys focus on getting some first downs, put some drives together, give us a little bit of a break here. If we can get some rest, we'll play even better for you. And, oh, by the way, pay off a few of those drives with some points, too.
That one definitely helps as they try to push the ball down the field here, trailing early in the third quarter.
And even though they're trailing, not abandoning the running game. People may call it an adjustment. I think it's just much more sticking to what works for you and continuing to have faith in it. And the running game is starting to pay off.
Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. Now Rodgers. And this is incomplete. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. A handoff for Warren. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Here's Cameron Johnston now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the 3rd quarter. Now this game, it has obviously been all about the defense on both sides of the football. Which offense is going to break through here? We'll see if they can do it on this drive. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
2nd and 9 now from the 21. Back to throw. Sanders. A quick throw there is incomplete. Right now, the story of this game continuing to be the defenses, because the offenses, they're finding it difficult to establish any rhythm whatsoever.
I like how you come to us in praise of defense, Brandon, because that's exactly right. That was an incompletion forced there, but we've seen it throughout this game. Both of these defense coordinators, they're a step ahead of their offensive counterparts.
Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Yeah, that's a nice job there defensively to blanket those receivers on 3rd down. And as a quarterback, all you can do is just loft one toward the bench. Not too close, mind you, and live to punt the football.
The Browns send out their punter now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. .47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Steeler offense set to regain possession. And with the way this offense has played thus far, to be frank, they got to feel pretty grateful to be in the ball game.
I would agree with you totally, because they've done all of nothing offensively in this game, yet they still find themselves in a position on this drive where a touchdown can give them the lead. They need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, they're still looking for that first touchdown here in the 3rd quarter. All they have so far, the field goal.
And I think he was a little surprised to see the ball sitting out there like that. That's a ball he had a chance to come away with, but it winds up an incomplete pass.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32. Throwing now is Rodgers. Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Tough series for the passing game. Things just aren't clicking. Hopefully they can come through on this play and get this series back on track with a completion for enough yardage for a 1st down.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Rodgers. And that's caught inside the 35. And he's in. Touchdown, Steelers. DK Metcalf, 68 yards. And the Steelers have taken the lead here in this 3rd quarter. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Another opportunity now for the Browns offense. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Back to throw now on first down. That's going to be caught by Judy. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it'll be second down. Back to throw. Sanders. This is the tight end, Njoku. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a first down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you've got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage, and that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
So the false start will back them up 5. Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. That's on the guard, Wyatt Teller. Looking to throw. Sanders. And that throw behind his man. He missed him. Incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on 3rd. Off play action. Sanders. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. Alex Highsmith making the nice play and getting the sack.
One of the league's best linebackers. He ended that play almost before it began, and the running back absolutely overmatched no matter what he tried to do.
The Browns send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds, and they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. The home team's offense and Aaron Rodgers getting set for their next drive. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Rodgers going to throw. A short one there to Freiermuth. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from me a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Got to give credit to both defenses because they've been able to keep the points down. And despite that incompletion, I like the way he's playing. He's putting up decent numbers. What he has to do, find a way to make that sound read and hit that one home run before this one's over.
Now a handoff up the middle. Warren. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Here now a 3rd down and 8. From the gun, it's Rodgers. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
So 1 first down on that drive, and that's it. Forced to take the deep shot on 3rd down and couldn't hit it. Now they have to punt this one away.
Here's Cameron Johnston now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return, and the Browns will take over 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 63 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
And he'll get this one across midfield and down into Steeler territory. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. And they'll keep leaning on the running game. Back to the ground. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Back to throw. Sanders. Over the middle, it's complete. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Now the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Open man, he completes it to Judy. And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a 1st down as he stopped at the 48. It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away. And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10. Now a short pass pulled in by Washington. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. A big play there on the catch and run. And it'll result in a fresh set of downs.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, He joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. It's Warren. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Now, Brandon, that's the way you want to run the football. There should almost be quote bubbles above the offense right now. Bam, boom, biff. That's how they feel good about moving the football.
This 2nd and 4. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Complete to Austin here over the middle. 7 yards there and a 1st down. Here's Rodgers to throw. This is caught inside the 15. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 42 yards.
You just had the feeling that sooner or later someone was going to come up with that one play. Neither team has really done a whole lot offensively, but here's one that pays off to the tune of big yardage, and it's one that could maybe get this group in gear.
Now a play fake. Rodgers. And caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers. Pat Freiermuth from 4 yards out. And the Steelers will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Well, this offense only mustered 3 points in the first half on that field goal. They picked up the pace now. 2 third-quarter touchdowns.
Hey, you remember that appearance we had last week in front of that crowd, and they asked about halftime adjustments and all that was going on. And remember what I said. It's not always an adjustment at halftime. Sometimes just remembering the game plan and playing better, tuning it up and just working through it methodically. They got it done in this case.
Of course, I'll always remember that appearance because I had on a brown belt with black shoes, and you pointed that out in front of the crowd. So thanks for that.
I said that out loud?
You did.
My bad.
5 plays there on that drive, and it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Cleveland offense making their way out. They trail by 10, 17-7 as they come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing to start the drive. Sanders. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it's 2nd down. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Browns with a deficit. They're trailing, but with the football here to start the 4th. Here's a 2nd and 7. He finds his man Johnson. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that'll make it 3rd down. Looking to throw. Sanders. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
Now it's Rodgers. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
Joe Tryon-Shoyinka showcasing the pass rush.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
The Steelers on 3rd down. They're right at about the league average, 40%, 4 for 10. This will be 3rd and a mile. They try the left side with Johnson. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. It'll be a gain of 17, but even with that, they'll be well short here for 4th down.
That was a good, strong run there. And while it won't pick up a first down, it was definitely something needed by that offense. A positive run. They got a good push by their guys up front. Maybe something they can build on as this game continues.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away.
Now fair catch is called for and taken at the, we'll call it the 37-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Sanders throwing to start the drive. And the catch made by Johnson. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Just need a yard here. 2nd and 1.
Operating from the gun. Sanders.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
Darius Slay with a pick.
And the Steelers are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
And that's just an ideal run to start this drive because they're in full ball control mode now. So if you keep ripping off 7, 8, 9 yards of carry, you're going to have a great chance of finishing off this game.
From the 46, here's 2nd and 2.
Rodgers now to throw. He finds Austin complete. And he's brought down. His 5th catch tonight, and it's good for a 1st down.
The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
To throw, it's Rodgers.
He's got his tight end Freiermuth over the middle. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Throwing is Rodgers. And here's Freiermuth again. And he's going to take it in for a Steeler touchdown. Pat Freiermuth, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Steelers are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Boswell for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. So that drive, 4 plays. And it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And able to get this out to the 25. The football going back over now to the Cleveland Browns. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Operating from the gun, Sanders. And that went to the right side and incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Operating from the gun, Sanders able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad. That sure looked like a nice call by the defense, and they're very cohesive in their coverage. As soon as he cut inside, they broke on the football and met him as the ball got there and forced the incompletion.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. This short pass into the hands of Njoku. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him.
And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going to go down. Nick Herbig in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. And you hate to say it with a rookie quarterback. He's done some good things, but overall, looked a little bit overwhelmed back there, hasn't he?
He certainly has, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time to throw the football. You like the way I said that? In his defense.
In his defense, I got it.
You see what I did there?
Yeah, he needs better protection, that's for sure. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over.
The Browns unable to move the chains on fourth down. And the Steelers, they're going to take over an excellent field position.
Pittsburgh set to take over again on offense. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now a handoff up the middle. Warren, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sends his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Warren. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. 97 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. On play action, now Rodgers. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20.
Warren will try the right side.
And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. He digs them partway out of the hole that they're in. It's an 8-yard gain, and it makes it 3rd and 12.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he won't quite make it to the 25.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. And last time, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. We'll see if they can pick themselves up off the mat and do better this go-around.
Sometimes I have this vision of coaches writing notes to themselves before a game. And sometimes that note says, be aggressive, stay aggressive. Maybe that's what we saw in the last possession.
Yeah, they were very aggressive. This time, will it result in points? We'll find out. That's a gain of 4 as we slip inside of 4 minutes left in regulation.
Nice job by the defense figuring that play out and holding it to a short game, but I don't think the offense is going to be daunted. They actually accomplished their goal there. Now they've got them aware that they can throw a screen at them. Maybe to slow the pass rush down a little bit, and they can throw it downfield.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Back to throw. Sanders work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
This is a nice job of just taking what the defense is going to give you on third down. You're not looking for a big play downfield. You just want to find something that can get you past the marker. They found it and were able to keep the drive moving.
Back to throw again. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. That is incomplete.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. They'll look to throw again. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on 3rd down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
I like what they tried to do there. Tried to hit him with something quick, get the ball in his hands, and hope he could make some yards after the catch and pick up a first down. Weren't able to do so on that play.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. This one downfield for Tillman. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The Browns unable to move the chains on 4th down. And it'll be a turnover on downs. Well, at this stage of the game in the second half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
On 1st down, Warren. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. Didn't get to the sticks, but that's an ideal carry there on 1st down, isn't it?
I mean, now you're 2nd and 1. Although, you know, in the NFL, even if he picked up the first down, I don't think it's a big difference because the clock doesn't stop.
Yeah, not like college.
Right. If it's college football, you want to 2nd and 1 is probably better than picking up the first down because in college football, the clock stops with every first down and actually aids the defense in that situation.
And a strong run there as he'll maneuver his way down inside the 15. 128 yards rushing for him now as his big night continues. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get in behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. Running a jet sweep. This is Austin. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there. All 11 guys on defense diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
3rd down and 6. Here's Rodgers. Throw out wide is incomplete.
And this defense definitely in his head there on 3rd down, and he's pretty fortunate. They didn't call him for grounding on this one. That was a good 10 feet over everyone's head.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Boswell's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. but that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Browns set and ready to go on offense. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Operating from the gun, Sanders, and it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. Looking to throw, Sanders. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They'll look to throw here on first down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the game will continue for at least one more play.
Cannot finish a game on a defensive penalty. That's why they get one more untimed attempt.
He's got Njoku, his big tight end. And he'll be taken down here, and that is how this one is going to come to an end. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And, Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Steelers earn the win at home as we say so long from Pittsburgh.